What up, folks? My voice is coming back a little bit. Felt like shit 2 hours ago, but I don't know, man. I'm rallying a little bit. My cousin's coming tomorrow. I'm getting real excited. Maddie, how you doing?
Dude, I am doing. So had a great day.
Yeah.
Weather's changing, and then so fighting a little bit of a headache, but all said and done, compared to COVID, not bad, man. Not bad at all.
Whew, yeah, man. I hope my eyes actually felt like they were gonna come out of my head a little bit. And
remember, I mentioned that. I'm just saying.
I didn't get that shit last time, man. So
Thing.
Dude, I'm getting a little nervous. So I took a nice hour and a half nap, and I'm feeling a lot better.
Oh, and you got a DC in the hand. You're good to go, bro.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pump myself full of caffeine, so we're ready to go. Spazoinks is here like always. Anthony's Mithy. God, our one and only boy. Giggle Bangs is here.
Yes, Giggle.
Good to see you, Giggles. Thanks for stopping by. Pink Mink. Dude, Pink Mink fell off the face of the earth, took a break from NFTs, but our boy is back. It's good to see you, Pink Mink. All right, so as always, going to do a little intro of what midlife crisis is and give the disclaimer. We appreciate all of your subs, all of your follows in advance. We have all notifications turned off. This is not like your typical Twitch stream where every single sub gets a shout out, but we want to let you all know we appreciate the hell out of you. With that being said, who is midlife? Well, damn, I could talk about that for 2 hours, but let's do the condensed short version. Maddie and I are very fortunate to start streaming video games and then find NFTs. And, we really started figuring out how we wanted to build a company and what that was about. And as we started building it, I think people realized what we were about. And we've had the fortunate circumstances of 4 to 5 people have joined our core team just because they saw what we were doing and they liked our vibe. And what we're really, really doing is bringing back the lost art of genuine human connection. And one of the main ways we do that is exactly what you're about to witness, and that is talking to amazing people from the NFT space like Jaya and Mary. We're going to have a great conversation about their amazing product, NFT Go. But in addition to that, it's really started to become kind of this media empire with that mission statement. Our podcast is coming out soon. We have a YouTube channel. We have Twitter. We're starting to dabble around with TikTok. And as we continue to grow, really just want to center on very simple things as being kind, paying it forward, and talking to humans like human and bringing that connection back, even though we're going to be more connected than ever we are now, and it's going to continue to get more connected. So
kind of connected. It's like connected, but with wrapping paper. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we'll see.
And perfect example, we just got back from NFT NYC, and it's amazing to hear everybody that we talked about, how awesome it was to meet in person. And that human interaction and connection is just so paramount and will be in the future. So that's who we are. And now we're freaking excited to introduce our guest. And we're going to start with Mary. And we got some fun little facts about Mary. And Mary told us there's a couple things. And these are some new ones. I have not heard. It's usually about sports or food that I like, or I got some crazy degree. But Mary went directly to when she was little. She just nonchalantly brought a snake home to her house because she thought it was a worm. She was a little confused. She thought snakes were worms or worms were snakes, vice versa. But that was pretty interesting fact. And then second,
you can see that, right? Like as a kid, they're kind of the same thing. No legs, no arms.
Right.
I see this thing. Must be a worm.
Yeah.
Worms are cool.
Yeah. No arms, no legs. It's wiggling its way around life. Oh yeah, that's gotta be a worm. Could have
gotten dicey.
Then she follows it up with a very, very very matter of fact. Oh yeah, and I've broken both legs at least 3 or 4 times. Busted my left kneecap. So broken bones is just a part of her life. Yeah. So kneecaps, legs, it's all there. She's broken a lot of them multiple times. Mary, welcome to the show, and how are you doing? Oh, and before you say hi, everyone give Mary a break. It is 3 a.m. where she is. She's a freaking rock star. Still came on the show, even though she probably had to set an alarm, roll out of bed, and now she's talking to us. Mary, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hey guys, thank you for having me. I'm being great. Although it's 3 a.m., I'm by the river, so I'm like completely calm, completely chill, have all time in my life. Even hoping to see a sunrise here because, like you said, guys, it's going to be a
Oh,
long session for us. But yeah, thank you for having me, and I'm super excited that we're going to talk about NFT Go tonight.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here. And Mary was one of the people that reached out to me a while back, and we've had already a couple great conversations. I was on their podcast. We had a blast, so I'm so glad to come at full circle. Next, but not least, Jai. And this is, I mean, you both have some very interesting tidbits. And Jai immediately went into, he broke his neck doing a backflip at a New York City nightclub, and he hit apparently a Miami Dolphin in the process. And that backflip broke a couple of vertebrae. Jai, how you doing, man? I hope you're feeling better by now, right? That was multiple years ago, though, right?
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say we have to lead with that was like 13 years ago,
Hey,
because
man.
otherwise it seems like he did that at NFT NYC, and
Right,
people would
right.
be like, "Whoa, what
Jai's
just
in
happened?"
the stretcher right now, talking to us as we speak. Jai, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
My champions, I'm alive and well. Thanks for
Ah,
having me. Yeah, I'm
absolutely.
grateful to be here.
Thank you so much for joining. So, like I said before, Mary, when we were talking, I'm going to bring it back to you. The famous midlife question. Feel free to go into detail as far back as your childhood, wherever you think sees fit. How did you get to the seat you're sitting in today, Mary?
Honestly, I just turned 33 years ago in last November, so these are like super important years for me. Like I feel like I'm resurrecting as a Jesus. And
Oh, I
NFT
like
Go,
this.
NFT Go, yeah, NFT Go came to me like a complete resurrection. So my journey with NFT starts in February last year.
Uh-huh.
It was 2nd of February when my brother sent me a message. Actually, he added me to one WhatsApp group, and he told me like because I'm a little bit designing, etc., and he told me he just wrote, "Okay, we are making NFT. This is my friend. I cannot remember now his name. Let's call him Sam. This is my friend Sam. Sam is, really good with social medias, and he's like into NFTs. He just started exploring, so let's make an NFT." And he sent me an image of a Chad. We all know how Chad looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me like, "Okay, let's make 10,000 of these like in military uniform." I told him, listen, he told me like, yeah, make them, give them ranks, give them different uniforms, etc., etc. And I told him, like, first of all, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. What are those NFTs? I was like completely dull, and I was thinking like, okay, because he's a sort of explorer. He's a 14 months older than me,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and we're like so same and so different at the same time. And he's in crypto since 2017, 16, 17. And I was thinking, like, okay, now he came with his crypto stories. He wants something from me. I need to help him, And I was thinking, like, what are NFTs? And I wrote to him, like, I don't understand the language that you're talking with me.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, we had this discussion for like 3 days. And I told him, like, okay, I cannot draw those because those are like, if we want to do them well, we need to find, someone who is much skilled.
Right.
And he started like arguing with me, like how much they're going to charge us. Is it like 10 euros, 20, 30, 50 per design, la la la. And my friend like gave us the price. It was a bit too much for 10K collection. I think that my friend didn't even know how to like generate the collection at all. We were all like just touching in the dark. Yeah, it was like super weird. He gave me price per one design. Like he didn't even, knew that he can like generate the art.
Oh, so he was
So,
literally giving you a price
Ooh.
one piece
yeah,
10,000
one piece,
times.
10,000 times. And like I said that to my brother, I told him like that's too much, but okay, like let's try and figure out. And I start talking to him about like copyrights and fragment because I studied production and that was like a separate class for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I told him like, okay, we cannot just steal the Chad from the internet because someone drew Chad already, and we cannot do that like that. And after 2 days, we were fighting like crazy, like brother and sister, 14 months, like twins fight, like saying to each other like really bad words. And that was actually my first interaction with NFTs. And after that, like I just started exploring a little bit, but I was like thinking those are scam.
Right.
NFTs are like something that just people are like just figuring this out. It's probably some sort of Ponzi. I wasn't sure about it because there weren't many projects live at that. It was like Hash Masks, if you remember, came I think
Yeah.
in March or something like that.
Yeah.
So like all the projects that were up were super interactive, but I wasn't getting the point, and I was just lurking from the side. And then in November, near to my birthday, he just came. I was already working on 2 jobs. I was a mess at that point because I wanted to change a lot of things in my life. And he just came one moment. He sent me he sent me money on my wallet. He told me I purchased some money for the tools. You're gonna pay me back. And we have this like big connection since we were kids. He would like literally borrow me like $50. That's like maybe I don't know, $5 or so. And he would tell me by Friday, by noon, I want you to give me my money back,
Right.
And we developed this, relationship money that I have to like return everything that he borrows to me.
Right.
So I told him like, Marco, that's his name, like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you putting me in this situation that I have to owe you money for something that I'm not even sure I want to be part of? And he just told me like, you gotta stop like not believing in yourself. You have so many knowledge. You are someone who understands this perfectly. You're just afraid.
Right.
And I told him, okay, you might be right, but I don't know how is this going to help me, how are you going to encourage me? And he just told me like, please start reading, start using Twitter, because Twitter is not that popular in Europe, honestly.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like more of Facebook, Instagram people.
Mhm.
Twitter is like usually for informing yourself about something like specific.
Right.
So
Oh,
he just
okay.
told me like, okay, I'm gonna connect you with this friend, this friend, this friend, and he literally put me in a situation where I could not say no. So I started like I was working 6 to 8 hours per day on my regular job, 2 jobs actually, and then the rest of the 8 to 10 hours a day I was grinding as hell, just reading, learning, reading, learning,
Right.
and I was like so tired those days. Like it was maybe 3 or 4 months I was just like reading like crazy. So since my brother came with these tool stories, I started using tools from the very beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and I slowly
Mhm.
became like this nerd, for tools,
Yeah.
and I started loving it. And that's how I've actually stumbled upon NFT Go, and I was like, oh, this looks nice. I should maybe start using this one. Oh, it's free. Okay, I only had like so far only paid subscriptions tools.
Right.
And then I scrolled at the bottom of the page, and it said, "We're hiring." And I'm like, "Is it possible? This is match made in heaven, And I was
Oh, I
thinking, like,
love
okay,
it.
let's apply, Even if nothing happens, like I'm not losing anything. I
Right.
wanted to quit my like Web2 job really hard, and I was thinking, like, okay, if this is going to happen, like somebody has to give me the blessing from the tops,
Right.
And then after a month and a half or something like that, our BD Dan contacted me, and they were like, "We want you in our team. Do you want to join us?" And I was like, "Of course, man." And in first, like, I literally on that day when I signed my contract, I've quit my Web2 job, even though I wasn't like completely sure what's going to like happen with NFT Go. I was like, I'm just gonna quit my Web2 job. I'm capable to find something else, if this doesn't go well. And then that was it. Like in 7 days, I was like just switching to completely Web3 environment, from like project researcher, from someone who is like deep diving into everything. I became someone who is in charge of growing one product, one community, and I gotta say, I really love it. I mean, sometimes we feel a lot of pressure because you're like the product that we're creating is like super cool, and you don't want to like have anyone disappointed in the product.
Right.
But that's like the main challenge. And like since then, I think that my life changed in so many directions, in so many positive directions. That's like completely crazy, honestly. Going Web3 full time was one of the best things I've done for myself in my life, and I'm like super grateful for NFT Go and having me in their team, honestly.
Wow, that's so good. I mean, and what's cool is it sounds like you understand not only obviously there's monetary value attached to NFTs and Web3, but you really appreciate the connections and the new kind of excitement for working in the future and technology and the opportunity that Web3 offers. Does that sound about right?
Exactly. It
Yeah.
sounds exactly as you just said it.
Awesome.
It is. It is.
It's
like that, yeah.
also really cool to hear that a project can actually put, hey, we're looking for help or we're hiring or something like that. I think there's something to be said there because, just asking, you never know who is lurking in the background, who's a fan, who is just waiting for that opportunity. And I think
Right.
that is pretty cool too. And you were, because when you saw that, like you said, it seemed like a match made in heaven. And that's,
Yep.
you never know, we've experienced
Exactly.
that ourselves. You never know who's willing to come to be a part of the team and can be an amazing fit.
Yeah. And I
Exactly.
lied and told Jai that I was going to go straight to him and get the backstory, but I have to ask this question because I think it's very pertinent to we get this question a lot ourselves, and it's how do you find a job in Web3? And since you were able to do that, I would love to hear kind of what would be a couple tips or words of advice for the people listening to us saying, man, that's so cool that Mary found a job in Web3 when she knew she wanted to do it and she did it. Because there are thousands of people that want to do what you have done. What would your comments be to that question?
Well, honestly, I'm always because at first I was going through Discords and I was doing these security AMAs because I had like bad experience with security breaches when I started doing NFTs, and I kind of start like making first of all a job for myself. Like, okay, let's be useful in Web3 space.
I
So
love
let's
it.
talk about something that's interesting for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing was what I always tell to people when I'm even talking on conferences, I encourage them to try because
Yes.
like you just said, never know. Like there's so many launch pads now being like launched. They're supposed to like bring people to the jobs in Web3, and what people usually don't understand is that we call this Web3 space, but it's like prettier version of Web 2.
Right.
I mean, we haven't discovered anything new. So, like, the job market is quite different. It's quite, progressive, and there are like new openings every day. And I think that NFTs open for a lot of positions. So, I'm always encouraging like energetic people, talkative people, like the
Mm-hmm.
people who well, in general, like the people who are searching for something new, they should explore, they should invest their time in learning,
Right.
and that will be
Right.
the best investment in yourself because like discovering Web3 space is super simple. You just have to relax and you have to like let go of the fear of the unknown.
Right.
Like
Right.
go outside of this standards that you've put for yourself, and like go outside of the comfort zone and just like ask for a job. Go be part of any community, any NFT project. And if you're active, if you're like proactive, even better. If you're there and just like trying to like be interactive with community, someone will approach you and ask you, do you want to be a moderator?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
that's how project approached me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you said so many gems there, which we've actually heard from a lot of people before. But there's a couple that the last thing that you said really resonated with me because my kind of first big break was being an original Hate Beast mod, and everyone's like, "How did you do that?" And I said, "Well, it was super simple. I found Digi's name because he was in the top right and I knew he owned the project. And I just DM'd him and asked him for a mod job and he said yes. I mean, it's not very difficult, right?
It's not. It's not. Yeah, but if you're pushy, you won't get a job. That's a super
Yeah.
huge tip I can give to you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I heard you, and these two things resonate with me, and I'd love to hear your thoughts too, Matt, is one, you said take risk, learn, grow. But then three, the other thing you said is make yourself useful. And I totally believe in what you said that any of these communities that you're super interested in, you totally can make yourself useful. You just got to figure out how, and they'll be more than happy to take your help. And it sounds like you kind of did that with NFT Go as well and some other projects. So props to you. Maddie, do you have any other thoughts there?
Well, I mean, I certainly agree. Obviously, I mean, I can tell you that when just having hired employees in the past, a lot of the times the person who came in before and you saw and interacted and essentially, I don't want to say they acted like an employee. It wasn't that they were doing that. It's just that they cared. They acted interested and they wanted to learn. And, how do you guys do that? Oh, that's fantastic. And like they put in effort before they even got the job. You notice that. And like you said, by making yourself useful, I mean, I do think there's something I've seen. I mean, Mary, you said it. I mean, a lot of the times, if you're just active in a Discord, you're eventually going to be asked to be a moderator because they see you there. They see you interacting and acting like a moderator. A lot of times, if you just do that, keep answering questions, eventually you're going to get that anyway. So you can kind of, lead your way into it by, like you said, just being useful and acting your way into the position in the first place. So I think that's absolutely a truth in this space.
Yeah, I love it. So thank you for that amazing background there, Mary. I am going to move on to Jai, whose neck is apparently good after over a decade. But Jai, same question for you. Feel free to go back to childhood, high school, college, wherever you want to go. But how did you get to the seat you're sitting in today, man?
Got to go with gratitude. Gratitude.
I
When
love it.
when I got a call from my buddy Jared, who also works with Mary and I, Dan brought us both in. He's the head of the business development. And I met Jared when I was an Uber driver back in Los Angeles, maybe 8 years ago.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I went to pick a girl up from a party, but she never came out. And he was sitting outside on the porch, and he's like, "You should probably just turn off your app there and just come on into this party." And it was like a high fashion party. The girl that was hosting it was a Vogue photographer. So it was a bunch of DJs, a lot of people who now are obviously in the space because of the art aspect of it.
Interesting.
But back then, an NFT wasn't even conceivable by
Right.
most people. But so a couple days before he had reached out, I picked up a journal, which I hadn't written in a while, but I knew that I was kind of coasting. And I was doing a lot of research on the space, but I didn't have a job, and I was working on a project of my own.
Right.
And I wrote in this journal, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have a position in the fastest growing technology space in the world.
Right.
And I was thinking of crypto and blockchain and digital assets more specifically. And within 2 days, I got that call and I had my interview. And that's kind of like the secret sauce, is just ruminating in that feeling of gratitude. And I aligned so much with Mary because in my 33rd year, I must have spent 4 hours a day meditating for a couple of years leading up to it. And then at 33, I really found my seat in really sitting rooted in gratitude. The things in life come and go, but I really have this unshakable faith in the divine orchestration of this universe and the way it unfolds. And so I'm also a generator, if you guys are familiar with human design. And I'm supposed to sit patiently, prepare, and wait. And when people like Dan call and Mary calls, then I'm ready to jump like a lion and strike, you know?
Dude, so you said so much stuff there that one, I'm not familiar with, but two, we need to get into the details here.
Yeah.
You said meditating 4 hours a day. So can we just talk about that? How to get, because that's pretty damn impressive. Not many people can say
That's a
that
lot
they
of
did
time.
that. So
monk
what
level.
what kind of brought that on and that little journey? And then once we go through that, I would love to talk about, you had a really cool story of you were picking a girl up from a party, you were working Uber, they said to come in and that met you the D10 space. Love to like have a little more color of from that moment to now on how you're actually got the job for NFT Go. So tackle whichever one first.
Word, yeah, it's crazy how the actions that you take and the stuff you prepare for, it kind of sets you up for something unimaginable. Like
Right.
you wouldn't even really. I had no idea that I'd be working in this space, but of course, as soon as I learned about it, it made perfect sense. But when I broke my neck and then I got hit by an SUV, and then rear-ended by a truck and all these different things, my body just kept getting pummeled down. And as a kid, like a lot of kids around the world, um, you experience toxic stress. Like you go through these events, and the body will essentially tell you one way or another to slow down. And some people who grow up in more balanced situations, you know, they might only have a couple little things that really set them off course, and so they have a solid foundation and they can go out and they can get it. But people with toxic stress, stuff like a parent that's absent, or
Right.
abuse of any kind, or
Mm-hmm.
malnourishing, or there's about 10 different types of toxic stress that build up for
Sure.
kids growing up. And it doesn't matter whether your mother is addicted to white wine and painkillers, or if your father is in jail.
Mm-hmm.
All of these events stack up and they create this distress in the body, and that's
Right.
what leads to decay and disease and death. And
Mm-hmm.
so after having all of these injuries, I honestly had no choice but to sit.
Mm.
And there would be times when I would have a flare up and I'd be flat on my back for 3 days. And
Oh man.
it all seemed to have a correlation with what was going on in my life. And so when I felt like I was getting off the rails, maybe I'm, partying too much, um, or even working too hard. Sometimes I ran a studio in LA and I wouldn't sleep for 2-3 days and I'd get myself sick.
Yeah.
But there'd always be a correlation with where my life was at and how much pain I was experiencing. And so I found that by sitting in gratitude first, taking a breath into the heart, reset the nervous system, release some new chemicals, get back into a harmonious state of equilibrium. And it's from that place that I like to write from. That's where that journal entry came from. I'm so happy and grateful to have a position in this space. And I truly believe that when you consciously create your core vibration, you can experience heaven. And when you fall out of alignment, it's when you can experience hell.
Yeah. Dude, I love it. I mean, I think there's so much there, but it's interesting to hear perspectives from just so many different people kind of coming to the same. I went through some crazy mental health stuff, and I have my own story and version of how I got there to my quote unquote Zen space of really understanding what I'm about and what I want to pursue in life and getting that balance. Maddie, do you have any thoughts around this convo before we move on to
Yeah.
the NFT stuff?
Sure. Yeah. So I do have some questions I wanna poke in there, but no, it's fascinating stuff, and ultimately there are many belief systems that highlight the same concepts you just mentioned. And in terms of just grounding yourself, I do think that gratitude is a massive, massive part that's missing with a lot of people. We are bombarded in our society with everything we don't have, and it's never enough, and here's this product that'll fix it if only you have 4 equal payments of whatever,
Right, right.
there's a lot of pressure to try to keep up, or overspend. And so I do think that, for sure, taking time, being grateful for just the amazing things we have. And there's so many blessings, right? I mean, even just the fact, I mean, it could just be your vision, right? Being able, I mean, some people can't see, some people can't hear, right? Even keeping it simple and working your way out, really kind of resets that frame. So I think that that's a great point. What I am curious about is, and I'd be interested for both of you to take us, because we're going for an origin story, and we're getting essentially like the NFT beginnings. What got you to Uber driver? What got you to a nightclub in New York doing backflips? Did you grow up? Did you study finance? Did you want to do something in investments? Did you want to do something else? What were you interested in, and how did that path lead you to? Because you just said a lot of, like, in terms of toxic anxieties and stressors that happened in youth. And I'm not necessarily looking to dive into those, right? But in terms of, like, what was your path that got you to the point where a person said you might as well go off the clock and come into this party as an Uber driver? I think that's kind of interesting to me.
I guess I'll take you back to my first paying job as an artist. The first time I got paid as an artist was at Subway. I was 16. I was a sandwich artist.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
And
that's great.
You made Matt cough, which means that was a genuine laugh, because we're still recovering from COVID.
Oh, I thought he had taken a bong rip out of frame.
Nah, man.
No, that's a COVID cough.
Now it's these lungs right now.
So you were a sandwich artist at the age of the fine age of 16, and then what?
Right, and I used to ask people who came in, and this is in upstate New York, Schenectady, New York. I used to ask people, what do you do if they came in and they looked joyful and happy and successful? Then I would kind of interview them as I'm making their sandwich,
Right.
And then I'd usually ask them, you got any advice for somebody who's about to go to college, like that kind of thing. And I just get them talking. People love to give advice when they feel it. Sometimes they wouldn't give me the time of day, and they used to really get under my skin. But I was a kid, and high school is a treacherous place. So, I decided to go to business school. I was an artist. I played guitar, and I thought about going to Berkeley or whatever and diving deeper into that. But I was like, no, I already get guitar. Like, I'm gonna keep getting better. I can self-study, but I don't know a thing about making money. Came from a poor family, stressor number 1. Daddy left when I was 5, stressor number 2. And, we kind of had like a hostile household. So, we were just like lower middle class, I guess, is like, well, not the poorest people, but when the school would do a food drive, my family was the one to get that food,
Yeah.
And blessings, my champion. Feel free to really, if you got a good cough coming on, I want to feel it in my chest. So I went to business school. I learned about money a little bit, and then my business graduating day, I was at Whole Foods, and I decided, because it was graduating day, I'd put on a suit. But I'd already lived in LA wearing flip-flops for the last several years. Yeah. So on this rare occasion, I put on a suit. I go to Whole Foods, and I run into this guy that I know from a musical friend. She invited me over to sing and just have a good time. It was like 3 a.m. So you can imagine the kind of things that happen at 3 a.m. And I go to this guy's house, and he's a full-grown man, and he's wearing kind of yogi clothes, and he's got a sitar, leaning up against the wall. And I brought my guitar and a bottle of Maker's Mark, and we sit around the couch and we share this bottle, and we're just singing from our hearts, singing every last like beautiful thing and every last insecurity, and we're just being so vulnerable, so just rich with like stuff that you wouldn't say during the day under any circumstances to anybody, but doing it in a way that rhymed and with melody. It was a very powerful night.
Wow.
A couple years go by after going to yoga with this guy and talking about spirituality and music, and I run into him at Whole Foods, and he's wearing a suit. And so we're both totally struck by each other, and we can't put together the face right away, but we take a second look, and oh my God, I know you, and why do you look like you make a bunch of money? Well, he told me that he used to run the Japan office for Goldman Sachs, and he ran like $1 billion trading desk, and he did all this stuff, but now he's a yogi, he just is, he's a funny guy. So I save him in my phone as Venice Hippie, and I finally add his first name to it. And he takes me under his wing, and he teaches me a little bit about how business works, and fundraising. We raised money for some medical apps and cannabis inside, like growing and without ever touching the product as well.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have planned any of it, They're just blessings. But I feel like this whole thing is a gift. And I asked my friend yesterday morning, who would you be if you were not in battle? That's the only approach you got to take.
Man, I like it. This is good. I'm definitely I'm feeling like. How long have you been doing yoga?
Yeah, my first yoga class was after I got hit head on by an SUV at Hollywood and Vine.
That's what it is. Okay, got it.
That was 2010.
Right.
No, 2012.
I like it. Cool.
10 years.
Cool.
Because it's good.
Right.
It is real good for the body to recover too. But there's that mindfulness as well, which is super helpful.
I call it brainwashing.
Say it again. I think you're cutting in and out a little bit.
I call it brainwashing.
Oh,
there you go.
There you
I like
go.
It's good for your body, but it also just cleans it right out. Creates some space.
Right. No, that's fantastic.
Good.
So you take this journey, which by the way is a couple with just one comment. Having can you speak to? And this sounds like this guy was kind of your mentor. How impactful was having someone like that getting to your journey to NFT Go? Did that have a big impact on you?
Yeah, well, he gave me the tools to have the confidence to present myself in such a way that that I was worthy of hanging with the professionals.
Right.
Prior to that, business school was cool, but most of it was online.
Right.
My first couple semesters, we had to wear a suit to school every day, but that wasn't real life, So I would just go out and I would meet people randomly, but I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And this guy was like, "Wait, no, try this."
That's awesome. So how do you go from, and beautiful story, by the way, I appreciate that. How do you go from getting this kind of fateful party Uber driver to getting a job for NFT Go? Can you take us through that?
Yeah, so Jared is are also in growth management, SEO, and he's an integral part of NFT Go. He was the one that invited me into that wild party on that beautiful night.
Right.
And after we had first met, I reached out to him because I had a friend that wanted to raise money for cancer research. He had been nominated as Man of the Year for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Nice.
And again, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I reached out to Jared because he's a DJ, and I asked him, "Hey, do you have any experience throwing parties? Like, I could use some help over here." And he's like, "You know what? Yes, I do. And meet me, and I'm going to help you for free. And we're going to raise a bunch of money for cancer research." And so we met for coffee near Long Beach, and we chatted it up, and we ended up raising thousands of dollars. And we did it again the next year, and we continued to do events like beach parties and just good vibes kind of stuff, like super lovey-dovey. Like everybody there, like there's no strangers, you know what I mean? Like we're all about inclusivity. And he got picked up for his SEO abilities through Dan because they had also met at a festival. They were dancing to a DJ, and it's just good vibes all around. And I don't know if you're familiar with there's two books that come to mind: Stealing Fire by Jamie Wheal and Stephen Kotler, and the other one is on the tip of my tongue, but it's about flow states. And when you're in these peak states of euphoria, then things come in alignment around you, you know?
Yep. I haven't heard of Stealing Fire, but I'm writing it down. And I've heard that the flow state's
Flow
one.
state, yeah, is a good one. There's
Yeah.
also there's a whole TED talk on that. The author of that book, I think, does a TED talk that's really good introducing that.
Oh, it's fantastic. So basically you cultivate this relationship and from there you kind of get hired onto the NFT Go team.
Yeah, he had called me up and just said, "Hey, man, like we share a heart. We understand that, and it's my personal belief that everything in the universe actually resides within my heart, and that the inside is as vast as the outside. So I am you, and I am that, and I am everything. You know what I mean?
I
And
love
so
it, man.
that's kind of one of the things that we had vibed on. Is just like throwing away an idea of separation. There's no competition. We just rise together.
Yes, we have a firm belief in helping everybody to rise the tides together, man. I love how you put that.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for that background. Again, one of them, you both have just like extremely interesting backgrounds, and it's fantastic conversation. So Mary, can you do similar? And if you want to just go into NFT Go, that's okay too. But anything that you want to shed light on, kind of going to school, getting to that point where you started really learning about NFTs, anything you want to share about that journey?
Well, it's been a quite journey, and I'm really grateful that Jai said all those things, because I also think that gratitude plays like the biggest role in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So after that February, when I had this fight with my brother, I started like just lurking the scene and learning about it, and I was like completely confused, you know. And one tip that helped me like stay strong and like not just bail on everything and like stay in my comfort zone is a sentence from Bear Grylls. We all know this guy is improvise, adapt, and overcome. And so I was just like using it as see, learn, and like just utilize your time, just like try and use your time as best as possible.
Right.
And I've
Yep.
learned that like the best investment I ever had, and why I'm so grateful that I'm being part of NFT Go now, is that I'm now in a position where I'm learning, and somebody is actually appreciating that, and somebody is learning with me, and I'm learning with someone. And that's something I think that Web3, like approach in Web3, is different, because we're all learning something new. So maybe I just like to mirror on that one, that believe in yourself and believe in your possibilities, because you can always improvise, you can always adapt, you can always overcome every situation in your life. Like Jai just shared like super personal story, which is pretty much common, and we all have some sort of, like, let's say dark sides of us growing up, etc., etc.
Yeah.
You're always like, you can always choose something in your life, and that's what I'm always reminding people, like, make proper choices,
Right.
even if you're sometimes like angry on yourself because you made the choice, but you made that choice, it was your decision to make that choice. So when choosing like what you want to do next in your life, try and, like Jai did this, writing in his journal, like write to yourself, talk to yourself, like ask yourself where you want to be, what you want to do with your life. Like, are these new technologies something that you want to embrace? Are sports something you want to embrace? Like whatever makes you happy. And I'm always pro for happiness, like even in dark times. I'm now going through like really some dark times myself, and I'm thinking, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen to me? I have my house, I have I have my family, I have some of the friends on my side, and I have time. I have time, I have river, I have things that are keeping me, happy. So I've been so unhappy in so many positions, even though, those were like, I'm a producer by vocation. That's my like university diploma, and I've been in many industries, like from theater, film, music, etc.
Mhm.
And my expectations of those industries were like, I think, super high, and they haven't matched, because you learn that you need to be part of certain systems, to 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 thrive in any way, especially in those kind of industries, because those
Yeah.
are like these popular industries that people are like just pushing their elbows all around and always hitting you. And I'm thinking like, okay, I've experienced so much. The reason why NFT Go actually hired me, because my CV is so, it's like a rainbow. I've done so many jobs. I've been in
Mm,
entrepreneurship for 9 years, and like I've never questioned my decisions. I was always like, okay, let's do this. I mean, I've
right.
I've opened up my bar when I just finished my university. Like that day when I've got my diploma, my friend asked me like, okay, let's open a bar. That was like far away from my school, far away from my
Right,
diploma.
right.
For sure.
My mom was like, did you not just like spend 4 years of your life and now you're gonna open up a bar? And I told her like, it's not going to be just a bar. It's going to be like educational place. We're gonna have like people coming in, reading their poems. We're gonna have people coming up with their jams, like just jamming. Nice, bands. I was part of like really big European alternative scene. I had many contacts in Europe, so I was bringing like really nice bands from all over the world. And I had this luck of my family supporting me a lot. So my mom, she instantly, when I told her like all my wishes, she instantly went to bank and she took money from me.
Right.
And that was not the first time that she, supported me with money. My father, on the other hand, was like always afraid, and he was always trying, to tell me like, now are the hard times, la la la. And I told him like, come on, dad, like hard times. I mean, I'm 33. I've been through wars. Like, what are the hard times? Come
Right.
on, man. I haven't. I didn't know what was salami until I was 7 years old, guys. I mean, literally, I've drank like domestic milk, until I was like 14 years old. I knew what was ham. I never knew what was salami until my mom sent me with when I was 7, and she told me like, go and buy 100 grams of salami, and I was like, what is salami? So you
That
go to this.
that is
That's
that
the
is
quote of the night.
that is
I
the
know.
quote of the
Fantastic.
night, and a very interesting way of you trying to say that it was a plain life. I love this.
Yes, fantastic.
I mean, like every obstacle that's on your way,
Right.
you just need to like stand in front of that obstacle. And I'm not gonna use now, pardon my French, like any of those like bad words, but you gotta stand up in front of that obstacle and say like, I'm stronger than you.
Right.
I'm
Right.
stronger and I have time on my side, and always like if you're trying to redirect yourself from one industry to another,
Mm-hmm.
you just have to use the assets you have, and that's like time and your knowledge. And you
Yeah.
should only invest in like those are the two most important things that you should like. If you say to yourself, I don't have time. I mean, Nikola Tesla slept for 4 hours a day, guys. Like we have this Kirill. I don't know. Do you guys maybe follow him on TikTok? This like super cycles of 2 hours. Like I don't say and I don't encourage you to not sleep, but I spent like 16 hours a day just learning and working.
Right.
So if you want to find time, you will find time. We just need to like, you need to sort your priorities first. You need to like understand what are your expectations of life. And most important thing is like, and I think that this is something that we are all learning day by day, is just by, learning how to love yourself. Like this self-care is super important, especially in Web3, because people tend to drain themselves. People tend to like sit whole night, grind, like is it like grinding for whitelist, is it grinding for like waiting for an opportunity to take money, etc. It's really important, guys, to take care of yourself. Like
Mm-hmm.
go outside, hug a tree, hug a friend, have real life interactions, spread love. I'm living in a relatively small city, 120K people, and I have this my mom raised me that I always have to say hello to my neighbors, and appreciate these people
Ooh, I
that we're
like
meeting every
that.
day.
Yep.
Yeah. And you're meeting someone every day, like that guy that's selling popcorn on the corner, you know, of your street, that's person that you're seeing every day. So you need to like show your gratitude, tell him hello, you know, share a smile with that person. Like
Right.
I'm often like just, you know, buying flowers from people on the street, even though like I'm not that huge flower lover. I just love to buy them because I know that not only this money, but this interaction I'm going to have with these people is going to be much more than what I've paid for. You know, I'm going to learn like so many things, and that's like Web3. You know, you're gonna scroll around Twitter, you're gonna like find your own florist there. You're gonna start sharing this emotion with your florist or person XYZ. Let's call it whatever, like Twitter profile or whatever. Like this interaction that Web3 is giving me, it's like somehow something that I felt when I was younger,
Uh-huh.
and now it's coming back, like this real life from drama, you know, to happiness. Like I don't know how to explain it, but NFTs are like bringing back this raw emotions, I think.
Right. Right.
But I've gotta say one thing: a lot of people in Web3 are spoiled,
Right.
like a lot spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
So those are like the balances. And sometimes like our expectations of Web3 are like, oh, this is like super nice world, you know. And then I just remember like something bad happens, and I just remember, okay, we're just humans.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
yeah,
You
quite
That's
a lot,
it.
right?
you said so many amazing things there, starting with I didn't know what salami was till the age of 7, I think it was. Um,
Yeah.
but but
Fun
you said
fact,
one
I'm
of the
not
most
sure I know what salami actually is.
yeah,
If you
yeah.
get what I'm saying.
We still don't even know what the hell salami
Not
is,
really
and
sure
I'm
what's in it.
40.
We're just gonna go with it.
Right, exactly. But one of the things that you've said in just an interesting way, because I would, you know, Jai and Mary, we have what I love about what we do is we talk to so many interesting people, and a lot of the things that you've said already, you know, resonate for successful people that have the right mindset, which is, you know, perseverance, don't be afraid to fail, keep on learning. You know, we've touched on all those, but I absolutely love, and I wrote this down. My mom taught me to say hi to the neighbors every day, and I buy things not only for the pleasure of getting something in the return, but for interactions. That's such a interesting way and mindset to look at how how beneficial it is to meet new people and learn new things, but just a nuance that you've brought to it that I haven't heard before. And then you leveled it up by saying that really what is web 3, which is totally true. I mean, I had I have multiple meetings a day with new people from Web3, and I literally had a conversation this morning of and I don't know this, right? Like I was just doing my thing, but when I was at Hate Beast Pod, I used to do trivia, and I we would give out Hape list for getting things right on trivia for Twitch. And I talked to this person that now we're seriously thinking about collaborating. He's like, you probably don't know this, but you gave me Hape list on the Twitch stream because I got your question right. And I'm like, just how cool is that there was this interaction that I didn't really know was happening that comes totally full circle. So that was just really interesting to me. So I appreciate just the way you described it. Maddie, do you have any thoughts about what Mary just all that insane knowledge she just dropped?
Yeah, I mean, so before, yes, well, a couple things. One, check the stream because I'm seeing it pausing, so just making sure. But
It's good.
what I
It's
would
running
say,
good.
it's good, awesome, perfect. What I would say is, I think we're in another one of these situations where we're flirting with doing a TED talk here, and so as long as there's so many, there's a lot of things to unpack. I'm all the way back on actually what I was saying, and then what Mary followed up on about, like, for example, struggling in the childhood time and how that leads to who we are. I mean, the bottom line is like we've talked about, you got to have mind, body, spirit in check. And we have a lot of science and effort on keeping the body in check, right? If you break a bone, and both of these folks have broken a lot of them, you need to be able to set that bone correctly so it can heal. And we all know that if you didn't set it correctly and it healed wrong, then that would lead to future issues, right? And what's interesting is, and going back to kind of how Jai said it, childhood trauma uh, is a bone that was set wrong. You know what I mean? And what we don't know a lot about, or I should say, it's not very wide knowledge how to fix that. And I think that making efforts to do that matter. And so again, this is definitely not NFT related, but it's people and human related.
Right.
I think it's worth spending that time to dive in that. And I think there's some methodology that get us there. And for, Jai, you went through a process. Mary, you went through a process. And I think that it's important to have those things healed so you can be whole and ready for what it is you're meant to do when you're here, And so, and I do think that there's something about seeking out joy. I do think that finding, if you're in a job and you're unfulfilled and you're unhappy, sometimes you have to do that for a period of time, but you can still find happiness in it. I would say being a sandwich artist at Subway, there's probably a little bit of, I don't think that that's like necessarily the career goal for a lot of people, but you can get there and talk to customers and make them feel special and ask them advice as a 16-year-old, and you can make it a fun occupation for the time that you're supposed to be there. So anyway, I think that that's fascinating. I really like how what you guys have both said is really, you guys had this foundation in who you are as people. You're grounded, and it made you ready to step into what you're doing now. And so my thoughts are, again, because we'll talk for 4 hours just on this stuff. Mike and I read a lot of books on this exact stuff. Love talking about this. But up to you, Mike. But my thoughts were maybe moving it into, now let's take it, now that we're ready, physically, mental, spiritually, as
Hell
people,
yeah, we are.
how do we get into what we're doing in the crypto space with this project,
Right. So,
specifically?
and I think this is a great segue into it. And again, what we're here to do, like, again, Mary, Jai, appreciate those backstories. But I'll let you both fight over this. Who wants to give us? And so here's the thing. Mary shared an awesome video about kind of the new aggregation functionality that you have. We could run through that video now, or do you both? Maybe it can start with you, Mary, and just kind of give us the journey of starting at NFT Go. What NFT Go is about, what it does, and then maybe Jai, if you have anything to add on, you can add on to that, and then we can play the video, talk about kind of the new functionality, and go from there. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Mary, the one that is now truly enlightened, sucking up every interaction, going to buy flowers to meet new people. Tell us about the beautiful thing,
So,
which is NFT Go.
yeah. NFT Go is truly an amazing NFT data aggregator, and it enables users to analyze the NFT market by housing a wide range of analytic tools and features, including like these regular market trends, analytics, search engine ranking, rarity, whale tracking, drops, and like many other services. We just recently launched our amazing watch list feature, so you can now like track people. I know it sounds kind of creepy, but that's what Web3 is all about if you want to be a
Yes.
successful trader.
Yep.
And what NFT Goes actually aims is to be a gateway to the NFT ecosystem. And what we pride ourselves is on enabling Web3 data accessible to the masses.
Yep.
So what does that mean? That means that we are not hiding behind any NFTs. We're not hiding behind any subscriptions. When you come to nftgo.io, you'll see there that everything is like at the palm of your hand. So when you're thinking NFTs, blockchain, data, free, well, all of that is on nftgo.io. And yeah, you'll find like all sort of metrics that are like real-time on-chain data. We're not using any middle guys to grab our data, so everything comes directly from the chain. we only pick up the floor prices from the marketplaces because that's something that you have to pick up from marketplaces. But other than that, like you said, I'm really excited to show you guys this video that we just made about aggregation trading feature that we're releasing. So what's that all about is that we're going to be currently the only decentralized aggregation trading, the traders. So meaning that since Gem and Genie just got acquired by bigger players, we're going to be the only one who are decentralized, and we're going to give service to the people that they can purchase bulk buy, bulk sell directly from our website.
Okay.
Also, I'd like to just say that we've opened up our API as well, so people can slowly start applying for our API. Our idea is like to share the data as much as possible since it's already there. We just like sort of utilize its streams and help people read them. So API is also open. We're also like having this program of research center that we are adding to different discords, doing different collabs with discords, like educating people on discords. We have also like these amazing discord bots that people are adding to their discord so they can like track and follow certain movements. And also we can mention whale watching because we're tracking more than correct me now, Jai, if I'm wrong, but I think we're following more than 100 1.5k wallets, something like that. So we are really trying like to utilize all the data and help traders, like manage their moves and help them like understand the market much better. We even have different perspective on market cap, and we're trying to give as many as innovative solutions and metrics to NFT markets. So we're listening all the time. I'd like to invite you guys to come always to our Discord, and if you have any ideas that you'd like to propose, that you'd like to get implemented in our website, to come and tell us. Also, like write in our Twitter. And yeah, the way that we're spreading information is really amazing. We have amazing research team that's been working like 24/7. That's at least my
Right.
impression, as well as our IT team, because these guys never stop. We literally have like updates weekly or bi-weekly, and that's something I haven't seen so far
Right.
on the market. So our
Sure.
research team, our IT team, they're like really, really amazing people who are doing amazing stuff. And we're trying, like, especially now in the bear market, we're trying like to educate as many people as possible about how to just, utilize your time, how to use analytics properly, how to, make good hits, how to like deal with bad hits, etc., etc. So that's something that you can see on our research section on our site. And we also do have these amazing drops that are announcing what's coming on the market.
Yep.
So any project can apply for drops at the moment. We're soon going to be releasing something that's called like feature drops, premium drops. So you guys will be informed about it
Oh, I love it.
accordingly.
So
Yeah.
okay, so real quick, because you've said a lot, right? And here's what I
have
love. This is an amazing, thorough answer. I really appreciate it. 100% we're going to clip this up so that way we have a long, detailed answer. But as a former producer, and I guess you're always a producer. That's what you studied.
Yeah.
If I was going to ask for an elevator pitch on what this tool does, and I was looking for something. Imagine you were explaining this to me, and I don't even necessarily. Maybe I'm brand new into NFTs. Can you give me
Makes
in
sense.
60 seconds or less why this is a powerful tool for me, or why this is something I should investigate?
Well, I've said that through my speech, and I'm just going to repeat.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
even less.
perfectly fine.
I'm looking for a condensed version.
Perfectly
Yes,
fine.
You did answer it amazing. I just want to get like a short one because I'm going to clip it.
This is going to be the shortest even possible. So everything you can imagine about NFTs, blockchain, and data equals NFTGo.io. And that encompasses everything that we are. Literally everything. Like if we go into every feature, we'll go so deep, and then you learn how Web3 is actually creepy, because you can overview every single transaction that ever happened on a blockchain. We can show it to you.
So a
So that's what
visual
NFT is.
representation of the NFT space,
Yeah.
anything that you're looking for. So that is a
Maybe Jai, because he has this poetic moment, and I love the way that he encompasses stuff. Maybe he can
right,
give you
Yeah.
like
right.
short
Okay.
speech.
But so that's what my next comment was. Okay, Jai, now let's hear your version of the 60-second elevator pitch on NFT Go.
NFT Go is the best all-in-one NFT analytics platform, soon to be market aggregator. And it is where you can follow all the transactions that are taking place on the blockchain. And we provide graphs so that you can see visually where the money is moving, where it has come from, and what the whales are doing, the smart money, how are they moving their money, what projects are they getting into, what are they minting, what are the new collections coming out, what of those collections are free mints, because you can just ape into every single one if you want to, but I hope you have a lot of burner wallets, all the holding trends, and it shows you really a great amalgamation of what the NFT space looks like at this very moment.
Awesome. I think that was
That's my goal.
fantastic
Wonderful.
as well. So I want to clarify something to make sure that I'm not interpreting anything wrong. I'm hearing visualization analytical tool, but we are not giving the functionality to rarity snipe or look at OpenSea and sift through rarities or mint a contract, any of that like minting functionality, which a lot of these other quote unquote tools are doing. Is that correct?
Well, when talking about rarity, we have actually different approach on how do we calculate rarity.
Awesome.
But we are now integrating Trade Sniper and one more tool. Now I cannot remember which one, because my brain is completely focused on something else. But Trade Sniper is now part of our integration, and I think that we are also dealing with one of the rarity tools.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure which one, honestly. Like,
Yep.
pardon me. That's not nice.
No, that's
But
okay.
I really cannot remember at this moment. But the way that we are calculating rarity is by Jared distance. So I'm gonna now share in the chat so people can read how we're actually doing that one.
Right.
I can do that on Twitch, right? Yeah, I can share it on Twitch.
Yeah, go ahead and put it in chat.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah. I was waiting for the confirmation. So yeah, we're trying like really to be all in one. Like Jai perfectly said everything. He probably just skipped the rarity because he encompassed everything else, but that's basically who we are.
I love it. Jai, do you have anything to add on to that?
Yeah, we do have a different rarity model, and it does tell you essentially which attributes are the most rare. It tells you which one is most unlike the others. Does that make sense? There's a little distinction there. But so yeah, you can go and I'll drop a little alpha. One of my favorite things to do is I'll look at a project, and I'll sort it by rarity, and I'll see which one I can buy now. And I get the most rare ones that I can get within my budget sorted, in that kind of way.
Oh, so you actually can, and now so the question is, most of these rarity snipers and other tools link directly to your wallet. Is that functionality there? So you kind of log in with your.
That's so the market aggregator should go live in a couple weeks,
Right.
and will enable you to even bundle your purchases and save money on the gas fees, and we help you find the lowest gas fee.
Right. Gotcha. Dude, that's amazing. So that's what the aggregator thing is kind of leveling up. And so this begs the question. I'd love to hear both of your thoughts, and Jai, you can start first. So, what are your thoughts on all of these other tools that sounds like your tool might be even a little bit more robust and you're charging nothing, and these other tools have made NFTs and are charging a couple ETH, honestly, at this point. What is your thought around this whole? Because I would say we actually tweeted about this. There's two metas going on right now: one free mints, two tools. So, what are your thoughts around that?
Well, is Jai the first one?
Yeah, I was
or-
asking Jai.
Yeah, Jai, what are your thoughts around that? You're on mute in case you were answering.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, I was coming on back. Can you elevator pitch me that question again?
Yeah, no problem. So it sounds like your tool has the same, if not more, functionality than a lot of these other alpha tools passes out there, right? And you know, some of these tools are charging upwards of 2-3 ETH, and you're doing all of this for free. So what is your thought about your industry per se, and how? What is your just general sentiment about? Should these alpha passes be charging 3 ETH, knowing that you guys have created a system just as robust for free?
Yeah. So I think that comes down to starting with why. And when I was speaking with the founders, Lois and the co-founder Tony, about why NFTGo exists, they want to serve the community. What is the tool that will serve the community the most? And so that leads me to the second part, which is the feedback from the community. Basically, our door is wide open. So if there's something you need, if there's something that you think that would be useful to make you a more informed participant in the NFT ecosystem, then let us know. And then we'll most likely incorporate it in if we do find that it actually is that valuable. And then we also provide our data API. So if you would like to have a Discord bot in your server, or if you want to build something completely new and use our data and use our algorithms and whatnot, it's all open source. And so,
Right.
So you know, come on in.
That's amazing. And so, what is your vision, or can you talk to this about how your monetization looks, knowing that all of this amazing functionality is free?
Yeah, so far monetization has been the question that it's honestly, I'm not just saying this, it's the last thing that we've been talking about. When you build it and it works, we'll find ways, and we'll find ways that people, I like to refer to it as conscious capitalism, where you want to spend the money. There have been times where I've dropped significant cash for significant products and services, and I've been grateful. You know, I put that money forward. And so the community will tell us, you know, if there's a way that that we can make that work, whether the community be other developers, other projects, or the community be, hey, I'd be willing to pay more if you could provide these extra tools. We're open to that kind of talk. But for now, yeah, monetization is kind of on the back burner. We are VC funded at the moment, so we have the money to go for the next several years. And as other projects are laying employees off, we are growing.
Right. And so I actually think I can say for the first time, financial advice, check out a free platform before you buy an alpha pass. I feel like I can say that, right?
I mean, you know, just in case,
listen,
we'll say for entertainment purposes only.
for entertainment
financial advice.
purposes only, maybe you want to check out a free tool that's pretty robust and badass before you spend a couple ETH on an alpha pass. For entertainment purposes only.
Hundo P.
Really, really cool. And so I'm assuming that the founders have built some wealth to be able to build a company, allow this to happen for free at this moment in time. Is that correct?
There are some apes involved.
Yes. Okay.
There are some apes. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Anything you
Great.
want to add to the conversation, Mary, about this juxtaposition between your free alpha offering and the alpha passes, or do you think Jai covered it pretty well?
Well, he did cover, but I have a bit different perspective because I've been like you know involved in tools a lot since the beginning of my NFT journey. And I gotta say, like a lot of these tools are actually, well, I mean, my standards are pretty high.
Hmm.
So maybe I'm not the most competent person, to talk about, but like, um, one of our competitors did a smart thing and they opened up part of their subscription for free for not that long. So they're showing what they can execute, what they can give to you. And I think that most of the tools, are not worth of that money. Not because like our tool is better. Far away from that. Like I've been like cross using different tools to like understand different perspectives in Web3. I'm thinking because I'm hearing a lot of promises. One of like I don't want to trash talk anyone, so I'm not naming any projects, but
Right.
I'm just like dropping you guys small hints about which project it might be. Like
Right.
one of the hugest projects in the space that we're supposed to like promote collabs, etc., is like doing such a slow work on their product. And
Yeah.
I don't have problem with someone being slow. I know that when I invest in certain projects, I need to wait for a while,
Hmm.
but like their promises were so simple, and like the project was like the way that they presented to us. So I'm talking now as an average Joe, someone who doesn't have that high standards,
Right. Right.
and they're like taking their time, which is okay. But if you're like taking much more time that you don't even have time to update your homepage, then bro, like what are we talking about? I mean,
Right.
I've paid for your project. We gave you a boost. Now it's time for you to work. And I'm thinking like that a lot of our competition are actually like hiding because behind these projects, because most of the tools that I've worked with, and I've worked with many of them, are actually using a third party service to gather data. So that's
Mm,
something that differentiates us from our competition, is that we're scraping the data from the blockchain. A lot of tools are doing it
got it.
over the third party services, hence they're a bit slower, hence they have like small bugs. And when you try to interact with different teams, sometimes they're over cocky, which is okay, fine. You're a tool, you're like building something, but
Hmm.
um, they need us. We need tools, and we can always change a tool. You know,
Right.
they're
Yeah.
we can change them. They cannot change us because we're users and they need us. So,
Yep.
what I would advise to everyone who is now trying to build anything, NFT project, a tool, or whatever, always listen to the feedback of the people who are actually using your tool, who are actually
Mm-hmm.
part of this certain market, who
Mm-hmm.
actually know what they need. Because we have cases when like complete noobs are coming to us and asking us like completely rational questions like, okay, why is this number displayed like this? What does this number represent? On the other hand, we have power users who are coming and like giving us an amazing ideas how to
Mm-hmm.
advance our product. And like
Mm-hmm.
Jai just said, like Lois and Tony are the guys who are traders,
Right.
and they understand, and they are
Yeah.
like completely with their soul in this project, because the way that they are ahead of the time, every feedback that they get, they just say to the team, okay, let's implement this.
Right.
And they're not
Yeah.
pushing anyone, with like, okay, you have 5 days, there's like strict deadline. No, let's do this, and let's do this properly. And that's what I love with us, because we're doing everything like slow. We take our time, and it's not actually slow because, like I said, we're updating weekly, bi-weekly. So
Oh
we have
yeah, it's
amazing
it's
features.
insane,
Yeah.
and I'm just poking around on the website right now.
Yeah. Well, real quick. So I think it's important that. So first of all, you said something that I think is easy to overlook, which is just you were stressing how important it is for any business to listen to their end user and really respond to their feedback and essentially fulfill what it is they're looking for and asking for. My only thing I would say there is I think that's a very easy thing to say. I think we all like recognize that. I'm very happy to hear you say that because I think one of the things that Mike and I, coming from the video game side of things too, is you would think that that's the easiest piece of advice for any company to follow. Yet I think we're all amazed at how often companies ignore it. Right? At the end of the day, if you just delivered the product that your customers wanted, you'd thrive most of the time. It is staggering how often somewhere between the top, when it gets down to the end user, there's some disconnect there. And so it kind of lightens my heart to hear that this is something that, at least for now, you guys are able to do. And my only, I guess, my only thought that I would share is, as NFT Go grows, just remember that mindset, because that's super, super important. And I think
Yeah.
that that's one that companies tend to miss.
Yep.
And the other thing I was going to say, and Mike, maybe you were going to say it because you're going through the website, is can you kind of guide us through how people get started using the tool? Where do people sign up? Where do they go? How do they start? Give us like the pitch for the person that says, yeah, I'm ready. What do I do next? What's that?
And so with that being said, Mary or Jai, feel free to chime in. Do you think now is a good time to show the aggregator video, or do you want to kind of do the basics of using NFT Go first?
However you guys feel like. If you think it's time to play the video, we can play the video.
So I would actually prefer, let's just do the basics. So I have my wallet connected. I can share the screen. I've been messing around since my wallet's connected. I'm not going to show anything that I shouldn't if I share the website with my wallet connected, correct?
Yeah, you can. I mean, if you show us your address, maybe we can follow you. Maybe we can learn something from you. So, yeah.
No. I'm saying as I share my screen to the internet, I'm not going to be sharing any of my personal details that I wouldn't want to as I'm clicking
Well,
around.
it depends. Do you want to show us your NFTs? Do you want to show us your the addresses that you've been related to? Because, like I
Right.
said, the depth we can go in is creepy.
As long as you enter your seed phrase on screen perfectly, you have to put the whole thing. Then
Yeah, that's the secret.
Yeah, that's the thing. So
That's the
so
secret.
the answer
Or-
is
or
no,
that- I
Jai.
don't-
Like I should be good. Ollie, enough. Get out of here. Sorry, my
Yeah.
dog is getting crazy.
you should be good as long as you don't mind people watching your wallet. Like if you want to dox yourself and you show which wallet is yours, then we can track you and we can see what transactions you're making, which is an integral part of the blockchain. And transparency is cool, but as long as you don't show your seed phrase,
Yeah.
any
Okay,
other-
we're cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my web browser, and I've got my wallet attached, logged in, and I would love for one of you to just kind of take us through. I'm gonna step by step on how to get logged in, do all that stuff, and then maybe like the top 2 to 3 things that you use the tool for, kind of like on a base intro user level. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay,
So
cool.
when you're ready, I'm ready.
Okay, so I am going to change it here. I will tell you when. And so what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to cover a majority of the stream up so we can make this as big as possible. And then so here's already one up on why we like to do this on a Twitter space, is because we can kind of have these interactive sessions live. And I'm just going to throw this out there. We've been having a fantastic conversation. I would love in the future to do kind of like some just tips and tricks videos on our YouTube with your platform for our audience, and then you obviously could use them as well. But just the thought I'm throwing out there, because this
I like it.
is an amazing tool. All right, so we were up and running. I've got the NFT Go home screen on. My wallet's connected. Mary or Jai,
Okay.
free
Mike,
feel
I'll be
to
right
chime
back.
in. What should I be doing here?
Okay, so first of all, the place where you see this image, like top right corner,
Mm-hmm.
you want to go there, and first you're gonna connect your wallet. If
Right.
you feel like connecting your wallet, this is like completely safe, read-only connection.
Right. So
So that would be the
everybody that is watching right now, this little drop down menu, it would say connect your wallet and it would bring up the typical MetaMask stuff. I have already done that. So now I see my profile, watch list, or log out.
yeah. So once you're done with that, we're gonna now we're gonna go through what I'm usually looking at when I'm
Right.
like overviewing a project. So basically, it all depends from your needs. But like every day, I have this habit of just going to NFT Go and checking like the market overview.
Okay.
So that would be in a first tab under the analytics. You will
Okay.
have a drop down menu, and the first one will be market overview.
Okay.
So
So can
that's
you walk
something that
us
should
through
be,
what we're seeing here?
yeah. So that should be like your daily go-to stuff that you're doing, like just to update yourself on what you're. First off, there is this like barometer that will show you the overall popularity of the NFT market reflected by different indicators, and
Mm-hmm.
we are like using this index is like experimental and is calculated based on volatility, trading volume, social media, Google Trends, and this score is updated every hour. So now at this point, we can see that we are in a cold part of the sentiment. So it's
Yes.
not the perfect moment to buy or to
How
do
long has
or
it been cold is the question.
well, we had few jumps, honestly, around goblins, and we had few jumps, like I think just recently, with this like crazy free minting moments when there was like goblins, I'll poop, and I'll do it, or Vagdi, or like whatever. That was like one and a
Right.
half week, like 10 days of crazy. Like sentiment was in the middle, and it was a little bit hotter at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Beside the barometer and market sentiment, you will see like how many traders are involved in past 24 hours and 30-day profits and losses, and like are people happy or sad? As we can see, people are currently sad
Yeah.
because I mean, we're in a bear market. People are afraid. They want to like get their money.
Right.
They're not thinking that maybe they should be patient. And that's what I'm loving about this space. Like it's teaching you to be patient, something that we are like always running away from. At the end of the day, you need to know how to be patient. So that's something that's super important.
Right.
So next thing you'll see is this blue chip index,
Mm-hmm.
and there you can learn like what's going on with the blue chips connections that NFT Go marked as blue chips. Like what are the movements? Are they selling more, selling less, etc., etc.
Okay, so this is
Actually,
just the sales volume for blue chips
yeah,
specifically.
yeah, yeah,
Awesome. Okay. And so
yeah.
we go down to market cap and volume.
Market cap and volume. You're just gonna like briefly check what's going on the market. Like have something changed. Also, it's important like to say that for certain collections we do have like wash trading filter, so you can learn like what were the genuine intersections, because for those who are not familiar with the term of wash trading, that means that someone is actually washing their own trades because they want to earn more looks. That's on looks rare, or uh, they just want to like earn more uh, coins on the platform that they're trading. So that's something that should be mentioned as well.
Okay.
Uh, and then you're gonna go to this panel of holder and traders, and like the next thing are more or less overall stuff. Holders and traders will be the last graph that I'm usually watching on this page, and I'm just like following how many traders, how many buyers, and like the number of the sellers and buyers are like commonly going to be completely different. So like the numbers that you do not understand, you have this like small informational circles. You can always hover on them,
Mm-hmm.
and you can learn what of these each of these terms actually means.
Right. And
So
so in a good hot market, we're gonna have a lot of buyers and less sellers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let's find a project that you would like to analyze.
Okay.
Is there something in your mind?
Let's
that has-
do chat. Let's do chat here. Chat, please chime in with
I like this idea.
a project that you all would like to analyze with the NFT Go IO platform. Ready, set, go. And we're going to, Maddie, feel free to chime. While I'm waiting for chat, I'm going to go to the bathroom really quick. I've been siphoning down water, trying not to get sick.
Yeah, I've been doing the same, fighting this headache.
I'll be right back.
Do it. Let's see what they say.
Okay, Travis, give us a project that you've been scumbags. What the fuck? Let's see. Have we listed because we have like super high listing criteria. But we're trying to lower
Ooh.
that now. But
Okay.
Let me see. Do we have these?
So we got
these-
one person. We got so Bonji coming in with Citadel.
Okay, scumbags. What the
All
fuck
right.
are not?
Stars asking about Goblin Town. WTF?
Okay, we can do that one as well.
And then we got. Let's see here.
God hates NFTs. Okay. And we okay. Let's do. Maybe we can do
Clemente.
Goblin Town because that's like maybe probably the most popular project now.
Okay. Let's do Goblin
Or-
Town. We'll do Goblin
Yeah,
Town.
let's-
I like that one.
Yeah, but let's wait for the mic. Let's wait for Mike.
Monkey
and-
Yeah.
burger.
Yep. It'll be good. That was awesome.
Goblin Town.
I like it. I like it. It's always amazing the delay between us saying it and then it going through the stream. Like Mike was leaving, going to the bathroom, then all of a sudden people just started going nuts with all these answers. It's fantastic. Fantastic. All right. He is back. We got a lot of answers, but we're going with Goblin Town.
All right, let's look at a little bit of a Goblin Town. So is it easy as going to the search and putting in Goblin Town, I'm assuming, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Goblin Town, here we come. All right, so let's break down Goblin Town with NFT Go.
I like Jai, please memorize this. Let's break down the Goblin Town. This is like
I love it.
Exactly. A little rhyme.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Before we do, I really have one really important question.
Oh, I love it.
What is salami?
What
Okay,
is
okay.
salami?
Tell you guys this answer. Okay, we in Serbia we call all meat derivatives that are made like bologna, they're like overall called salamis. And then you have your mortadella. Then you have like this. Even we have this like tea sausage. Then you have like sausages that are called like by the name of the region where they've been made.
Monkey
So
burger.
like, yeah, like overall meat derivatives are salami, man. So yeah, everything that is like industrial produced BS
Ooh.
that's been served to you in the Subway sandwich, that's salami.
Ooh, dicey. Yep.
Ooh.
I'm getting heartburn talking about it.
Yeah, that's salami. Yeah, I already have heartburn, and now I really have it. Shoo, Mary, you're not helping me out here.
I'm helping you guys, I know. I
No,
know.
that's
All right.
hilarious. Okay, so Jai, I guess are you the project breakdown person then, or is that Mary?
He can do it if you want, because Jai is usually doing that in our Alpha Weekly Masterminds. But I can like
Okay.
walk through you. What am I usually watching? Maybe Jai has a wish. Maybe he wants to do it. Like however you feel, Jai.
Either or, whoever wants to do it.
I only want to know about salami.
Okay, perfect. That means Mary just told us about salami and is gonna break down the
Okay.
project for us.
Okay, so goblins commonly eat salami, right? They
Yes.
know and they appreciate this. So
Exactly.
let's move from there. So basically, when you land on the page, first you're gonna see is like their market cap, holders, what was their volume in the previous 24 hours, and what is the floor price. So those are like some of the basics that you need first to have on your own display. So when you scroll down, you're gonna see this market cap and volume. You're gonna see price ranges at which each NFT has been sold in previous period.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we come to like these filter wash trades, where you can actually remove all the trades that have been marked as suspicious and are being like completed between two
Okay.
same users who are actually like just passing around the same NFT and just like spending gas money to get more looks or whatever.
Oh, look at that. That's very nice. Only show transactions that are not wash trades. And can you define that for us one more time so people can hear that?
So the second, or is it, the second bar that you will see is this pricing bar, and you can filter your wash trade. So wash trading is actually passing one NFT between two connected accounts. It's called wash trading because you're actually doing the sales to gain more coins from the platform that you're washing at. So
Right.
like all these new derivative platforms that came at one wave, they're all rewarding their users when they're trading on their platform so they can gain more coins.
Like Rarible, right?
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
that's why they are like having this wash trades moment. And yeah, we wanted to exclude that because it's really important to know the real stats of the project. Like you don't want to see wash trades,
Right.
because those are not the real trades, right? That's not something that you're going to follow. So when
Right.
you're scrolling down more,
So real quick on
you'll
this
see-
wash trades, because this is interesting for people to understand. So when I'm clicking back and forth, it looks pretty identical, which means in my mind, not a lot of wash trades are happening, correct?
exactly.
Okay, cool.
If you would like go to Meebits collection, you'd see how that looks like, because they do have a lot of wash trading included.
Ooh, we will do that next, but let's keep
Yeah.
on going here.
Yeah,
And then
let's keep
also
moving.
there's a green outlier here. What is that all about? Oh, just because it sold so much higher above the
Yeah.
floor.
Next price. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're on to transactions liquidity.
Liquidity holders and traders, that's not something that I'm commonly looking at. So I'm looking that in different bar. So let's skip now to the holders bar.
Okay.
It's fourth one on your
The top sales 24 hours or holders?
No, holders and traders.
Holders and
scroll
traders?
up. No, scroll up. It's like a completely different bar. It's called
Oh, you're
scroll,
talking
scroll.
about the tabs here. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So now you're on
Yeah.
the holders tab. Got it.
Got it. Okay.
Go to holders tab now.
Yep.
So the second thing I'm looking at is, like, we all want to know, is our project blue chip potential or not? So that's like one of the amazing metrics that we have recently added, is that we know exact number of blue chip holders that are in this collection, and we know the mutual holders who are holding either some other blue chips or some other like reputable NFTs. And you always want to know, like, how many whales are inside actually. And I love because these metrics are presented in numbers as well as in percentages, because like somebody just love numbers, somebody love percentages, but you can like clearly see, and that's something great about NFT Go, is that it's super simple for noobs. Like you don't have to be super smart to read the numbers. You just have to like use your common sense. And like what I love about it is it's actually teaching you how to use the tool. Yeah. That's what I love about NFT Go.
I love it. And so this number 77 is ranking your listings. How do I get to the aggregate or the list of these blue chip holder NFTs? Is there a way to get there?
To this number, like where's like leaderboard?
Yeah, like a
Yes,
There's a
the
leaderboard.
ranking
overall, yeah.
board. Yeah.
In market overview, there's an overall leaderboard
Oh,
that you
well,
can take a
okay,
look.
we'll get there eventually. So cool.
Yeah,
All right, yeah,
yeah.
cool. Awesome. So we got the whales, we've got the blue chip holders. Super cool. Super cool.
Yeah, so the next thing I'm looking at is if you please can scroll down to holding amount distribution and holding period distribution.
Ooh. I am there.
Okay, so the things that I like to look at it here and why it's so important is that I know how strong their community is. So if this project is on the market for 5 years, it clearly isn't, but let's say, okay, 5 months, 1 year, or something like that, you want to see the number, you want to see this percentage. Okay, in this case, it's like 30 days to 3 months. They have strong community because 77% of the people are holding for that period. They haven't
Mm,
leased, they haven't sold anything.
right.
So this is the moment where you're actually learning how strong their communities and are people just like going in and going out and trading these NFTs all the time. Like
I
that's like
love it.
super important number for me
Right.
when I'm choosing a project that I'm investing post mint. The second thing is like holding amount distribution.
Yeah.
Why is it important to understand? This number is important to understand so you can be ahead of like smaller traders. So if you see that a lot of people are holding, let's say 11 to 50 NFTs or 51 to 100, you might want to stay out of it for a while until
Right.
that one sells out because you have to be cautious and you have to think about that. Okay, this whale or this like group of people are going to dictate the floor price.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
That's something you want to rely on, and that's something you want to know
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, so a
Yeah,
healthy graph actually. So for kind of examples, these two to me look actually really healthy, right? Because you've got
yeah,
almost
yeah,
70% only holding one, which means only 30%. A majority is holding one. So, yeah, there are some whales, but it's not like they're going to be able to drastically just totally F the floor.
Yeah.
And
But if you look
then
at the
exactly.
percentage of people who have 3 or less, it's basically everybody,
it's
right?
basically
All the
everyone
like
3 or less. So they're not going to be able to
Exactly.
move the floor drastically because of the distribution. And then the holding period, we've got 30 days to 3 months, which is great because the project's only been around for 3 months. So that means
That's
70% of the
super
people
healthy
have
number.
been
Yeah,
holding it for a majority of the time, which is awesome, right? So
yeah,
overall, looking at those two graphs, these are very good signs for Goblin Town, correct?
exactly,
Awesome.
exactly. So like the last tab that I'm checking out is something that we just recently added, and it's market tab, and I love this one because it's showing me so many things at once. So what I love to see how many listings are there. So when I'm on OpenSea, I have to first like pop the like maximum price, and then I'm gonna see how many things are listed, and that's like really big pain in the ass for me. So this kind of sums up everything that I need to give me like instead of using let's say 1 hour on a researching project, I'm going to spend 15 to 25 minutes on it. So when I'm on Market tab, uh, okay, so you
Right.
are
And on
there.
top of this, you're not like scraping through OpenSea that's giving you all this weird data.
Uh,
Like this is all wrapped up in a bow in one page.
I gotta
Yeah.
chime in
Exactly.
one thing real quick. If you click up at the top right next to EN, there's a little moon,
Uh-huh.
and that will give you the view that I think that your viewers will appreciate in the top right there. You click that
So,
moon.
well, oh, I see what you're doing.
Thank you,
Oh,
sir,
yeah,
because my face was being totally washed out by the white screen.
You were getting wastrated, bro.
I was getting washed out. I love
Yeah.
it. Yes, that is super helpful. So thank you very much. And because I think every other's people's eyes, if they were in a dark room, they were like, damn, turn that white down. So no, this is awesome. But okay, cool. We're on the market tab. So let's go through this. You've got all of the pertinent stuff that we talked about. Floor price, fantastic. Volume. And now we're kind of down to this next listings, last price holder with listings. Can we talk through that?
Yes. So I'm thinking now like average Joe. Like if I have to click more than 3 times, I'm not coming back,
Right.
man. I'm not gonna come back to your platform because I like things being simple, and I like having
Yeah.
the stuff that I need on display straight away. So you're gonna see your listings, you're gonna see your last price, you're gonna see holders with listings, which is really important
Hmm.
because you can see now that whales are involved in listings, so they are trying to move the floor price dictated. You'll see the blue chip holders, they're also probably going to try to dictate the floor price. So you might be cautious at that time. But something that really
So where am I seeing the whales and the blue chips? I'm
okay,
missing that.
holders with
Oh, here it
listings.
is. I see this. So holders with
Yeah,
listings, you got the whales and the blue chips.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. But now scroll down
Hmm.
to the floor depth.
Okay.
So this is something that every beginner and every power
Yeah.
user needs to understand. Like when is your entry point, when is your exit point, and the floor depth is real time. So you will see how strong walls are. So we're often talking in different discourse like, oh, we're coming to a wall. So people don't understand what walls are. Walls are how many NFTs has been listed at certain like point 0.1
Mm,
to 0.2,
mm,
0.2 from 0.5, etc., etc. So when we're talking about those walls, this is something that represents them and that can help you understand. Okay, now I have like 6 more listings that are between 3 and
right.
3. Second listing is like etc.,
Right.
etc., etc. So you know when to monetize yourself, and this is
Right.
something that you want to track to. Like
Yes.
this is one of my favorites, honestly.
Yeah. And this makes perfect sense. And you've actually done it. So I've seen tools that have line graphs that are doing this. For me, a
Bar
bar
graph.
graph is way more enticing to me. Like even this is a little bit more confusing to me. I actually really like this simple view. And so another way to put this, and correct me if I'm wrong, is where the noobs go into OpenSea and they say, oh, a Goblin Town sold for over 34 ETH. This is crazy. Like I should be thinking about buying Goblin Town at a way higher price, not knowing that the majority of them are selling at 4.75. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So this is something that will keep you, one step in front of everything.
Right.
That's
Right.
it.
And so as far as timing here, so how this is always real time, I'm assuming.
Most of Yeah, we just recently updated most of our metrics to real time.
Hmm.
So if like gaps, there are like minor gaps of like seconds.
Okay.
In some cases, like minute it stops, but
Right.
all of them should be real time. I mean,
Right.
if you see it like it's 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes feet.
Right.
So
And
everything
so
is
my
yeah.
question is, will so let's say there's a new free mint that I'm super pumped up about. Am I going to be able to utilize this view in real time to see where things are selling?
Well, the thing is that our listing criteria is now super high at this moment.
Okay.
So if project didn't surpass 100 ETH at the very beginning, you won't be able to see it right on our
Okay.
platform, and that's something we've been working on the live feeds and like lowering our bars for just
Right.
adding projects
Right.
on our site.
Right.
So people can have like real picture. If something is hot and it's burning, we need to have it as soon as possible.
Right.
So
Right.
sometimes like if people notice that some collections are hyping, growing in price and surpass 100 ETH but still haven't been listed, they just write to us in Discord, we list them straight away. In the next
Gotcha.
like few moments, yeah, our
Right.
team is listing it. So
Right.
that's something that we always honestly encourage our users to do, because sometimes, I mean, we all know like how tech works. Sometimes you just have to know like hit it from the back. So
Right.
it's going
Right.
to start working.
Yeah.
So sometimes we just have to tell to our tech team like, hey, we still haven't updated this page. Let's do it fast. So they're like really working on that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
all the
So
time.
so it might be correct to say then, if you are a true in the gutter degen, you're not going to be able to utilize these analytics for like these free mints that you're like, we're rolling and gambling and throwing the dice on this.
Or at
Well,
least this
soon
version
enough,
of
yeah.
it.
Yeah, in this version, not, but we are working on that because we are aware that live feeds are something that is definitely bringing a lot of users.
Right. Absolutely.
Sure.
And so, but even with this, let's say, I mean, like you said, any pretty hype project, you're eventually going to catch on, especially if you just said in real time, you're like, we saw Goblin Town taking off before the 100 ETH threshold. If we were to send it in there, you would try to react as fast as possible to get this into the website, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. That's super cool. And then pretty straightforward recent sales, listings, and then you can look at the rarity too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And how are you again, are you partnering with a rarity website, or you said you had your own kind of rarity index?
Yeah, we're using Jared Distance. That is quite different than the rarity models that are being used by Rarity Tools. So I mean, like different people have different needs. That's why we want to accommodate as many Rarity Tools as possible, because you can start comparing Rarity Tools on different platforms, and you will see that in 99% of the cases, all of them show different stuff.
Yep.
So if project hasn't been listed, let's say on Rarity Tools, they have paid for it, they have their official like Rarity tool, it won't be correct. So that's not something that we're relying. We clearly explain like how we're calculating what is Jared's distance and how does it works. And you always like, well, when we're talking about rarities and NFTs, I mean that's like completely specific topic that I could talk about for hours.
Right.
you know?
Right.
Like
Right.
how to find the right trade, how to trade.
Yep. Hey,
Something
listen,
completely.
I got a feeling we're going to be making some content together in the future, so we can leave that for a later date.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like it.
I love it. So, Jai, Mary did an insane, amazing job explaining all of this so far. Is there anything else you want to add? Or, Mary, do you kind of want to move on to, let's say, because believe it or not, we've been talking for 2 hours at this point. And you're probably, the sun might be coming up here soon. So I want to be cognizant of the time. Maybe we can play the minute video about the aggregating
Trading aggregator.
yeah, the feature coming out now that we've got a baseline of the tool. We'll play that, and then maybe Mary, you can give your top 2 to 3 favorite things or input after watching that. Jai, you can do the same, and then we can beautifully shut this thing down and come towards the end. How does that sound?
There is one major element to this that's totally on the flip side of everything we've talked about that we haven't touched, and that
Okay.
is up there by that moon. If you scroll over to the right and you hit the circle,
Uh-huh.
that will bring you to your profile. If you click my profile,
Right?
it will tell you there what your estimated holding value is, what the actual holding
Exactly.
value. It'll show you your profit and loss. It'll show you any addresses that your wallet is connected to and any contracts that exist.
Mm-hmm.
And then it surprised me. There was, in fact, this is how I found out that there was a contract from a scam that I tried to mint a while back, and they were still connected to my wallet. So then I was able to go to revoke.cash and revoke permissions from that project and detach them from my wallet.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah, and so here's the breakdown of the wallet. As you guys can see, I'm horrible at buying and selling NFTs. So But yeah, no, that's awesome because it then will just break down your wallets. That's super cool. So I love it. Appreciate for showing that as tell, and then it gives your rarity and all of that good stuff as well. So, dude, amazing. So as far as the next steps, let's get this video up and running. We will run through that video quick, and then from there, let's see here. Don't think this is gonna pop up. Hopefully, yeah, it's not gonna pop up. From there, we will kind of have our thoughts around the new video and what we're seeing, and then we will go from there. So you sent, Mary, did you DM me that directly?
It's in our Discord chat.
Okay, yep. I see it.
It's
Video
literally-
video is there. Perfect. So let me add this on here. We'll go full screen. And then I have to go full screen myself and not cut this down. I think we're good here. So we're all gonna go away, and we're gonna watch this video real quick. And let's do it. Wow. That's super
I need-
freaking cool.
I need that wallet.
Yeah, that's a hell of a that's a hell of a
It's like a little subtle
wallet to
flex.
share.
Little subtle
Like,
flex.
I want 1.2
Hey.
mil just sitting in my wallet and can sweep some BAYC.
That's just Mary's burner wallet right there.
Right,
Yeah,
it's
that's what I
exactly.
figured.
No, that's super cool that now you're going to be able to take all this data and then real time buy stuff is what I saw, and not only do that, but you're getting the analytics behind it and the best prices across multiple marketplaces, which I don't think many people have done that, right?
Well, none
Yeah.
so far.
There you go.
So you are the
Like,
first.
in this combo, we are the first with this combination. I think, like, if it's up to my knowledge, we are first one.
Yeah. So anything to add on to that video, because there was a lot there too, but like kind of top 2 to 3 features and of what's coming in the future with this product per se, and what you're excited about in the future, and then I'll turn it over to Jai.
Well, I'm mostly excited about this bulk buy and bulk sell moments. Secondly, this moment where you can just see that these alerts that are being given to you, like, okay, you have this item has been marked suspicious. There are like some items that are lower priced. So, like, we're trying to help you buy as seamlessly possible, and just like enjoy your experience as a buyer,
Mhm.
as a trader. And
Mm,
that's it.
I love it. I love it. And being notified if it seems like a fraudulent collection or shady things going on, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, you don't want to have these like bad karmas in your wallet, so you just like fast.
Right.
That's
And
it.
then how about you, John? What do you want to add to what we just saw and kind of the future?
Yeah, so Mary kind of touched on it with how much time you can save. So basically, I was like kind of reluctant to get into NFTs in the first place because I felt so lost. There's no way to kind of find the new projects and what projects are taking off. Like I'm sitting there watching Twitter, it wasn't working out. And so we did launch recently the watch list feature. So right under my profile in the top right, you can click watch list and you can put in any individual NFTs, any NFT collections. You can add whale wallets, blue chip holder wallets. You can add your friends' wallets, and you can follow each other's watch lists.
Hmm.
And it's a great way to just keep everything right in one place, where you can see all of the activity as it's happening up to the minute.
Right.
3 minutes ago, this McGoblin combo was printed. So
Right.
um,
Right.
yeah, take advantage of the watch list, and if you share it on Twitter, we'll probably give you a retweet because that's good stuff. We want people to know about the watch lists,
Right.
and it's
And
a fun
so
way
what you're saying is Midlife Crisis crew probably should start adopting this and maybe even make a little NFT Go channel so we all can share our alpha tips and tricks for this beautiful, let's
Yes.
remind you, free website, people. This is free.
and you don't even have to sign up. You just connect your wallet. It's awesome.
Yeah. One of the coolest tools that I've seen out there, and then just mind-blowing that it's free.
Get it while it's hot, babies.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. So with that being said, we are now at 2 hours and 17 minutes. All of the questions have been answered through our beautiful conversation. Love to kind of wind this down because, I mean, not only has this been insanely informative, I loved both of your backstories. It was fantastic. I'll start with you, Mary. Do you have any closing comments just about NFT Go on the platform? Because we always have one question to ask you all before we end, but just wanted to give you any closing comments about your project and NFT Go before I ask that.
Well, come and join us in our Discord. Learn, observe, listen, follow, watch.
I love it.
Yeah, that's it.
And that fits
Like,
your
super
story
simple.
that you told us, which is like so
Exactly.
coming full circle. I love that.
Exactly.
And how about for you, John?
Somebody in the chat asked, "What's the catch?" And for now, like I said, there really is no catch. Once the aggregator goes live, we will get little micro payments on the bundles and whatnot. So if you're saving money by not doing multiple gas fees, then you're going to pay one much smaller fee with us. So right now, yeah, we're just building community and catching alpha, and we do Twitter Spaces as well, where you can tune in. And Mikey G, you were one of our first guests.
Oh, I
Where
appreciate it.
through that website, we go through the alpha, and we learn together. And it's really just a way for us to compound our knowledge and get a mastermind going. Yeah, hopefully you don't find that there's a catch.
Awesome. I love it. And yeah, like
Oh,
you said, you have
Sorry.
you have a lot of whales and people that have been successful in the past backing this thing. So the fact is, you are able to do this for free right now, and as you build a community, which we're doing, by the way, we have the same exact concept. Everything we do is free. But we know the power of community, and as it builds, it will monetize in the future.
Sure. And what were you going to say, Mary?
Yeah, I just want to jump in briefly and say that we don't have any apps, guys. If you Apple products, you'll probably stumble upon on an app that's called NFT Go, their marketplace or something like that. Please report that app because it's not part of our community and it's been marketed as a scam app for a while. So please, yeah, I just wanted to highlight that because C-Loss
Good
wrote
catch.
in the chat, yeah,
Silas,
that
gate question.
the app. So I just wanted to highlight that part as well.
Right. So you
Right.
heard it here from the people that work for NFT Go. No apps. You must use the website. Do not
Yeah.
get scammed, people. Awesome.
like it.
Thank you
I
for
like
that tidbit. And with that being said, it's our final phase of our podcast or stream podcast. I just start calling it a podcast now. I don't know what you would call this, a stream / podcast.
I call it a show. Call it a show.
We'll call it a show.
Because then you're good either way.
Right. So last part of our show, and I will start with you, Marion. It's a twofold question. And we always ask this. So one, do you have any questions for Maddie and I? And then two, compared to other AMAs or live things that you did, how do you think our show went today?
Well, I had a lot of fun, and I'm actually, as you were talking a moment ago, I just started writing a message to our group chat. How happy am I to having Jai T as a sidekick and as a friend and as someone who is. I really feel that we're a power couple, in
Yes.
terms of
Love it.
presenting our product because we are, filling up each other with the stuff that one of us might have forgot or just slip its mind to mention. So I'm feeling really, really positive about this. I had a lot of fun with you guys. You asked right questions at the right moment, and I hope that people from the audience also had a lot of fun with us. And just by reading the comments, I think that they had fun.
Oh, they
So-
loved you.
so-
They're extremely jazzed up about your platform. So it's good to hear that you had the sentiments because I think everybody else really thoroughly enjoyed their time tonight. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I think it was both ways. So that answers your second question. And first question was.
If you have any questions for us, and if you don't, it's totally okay. But we just peppered you with questions for 2.5 hours, so we want to make sure you can ask us any.
Yeah, we actually, Mikey, actually ask you a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
On our AMA, so
Yeah.
I'm quite familiar with you. But
Yeah.
maybe we should Jai, use this moment to invite Matty to come to our Alpha Weekly masterminds, and maybe we can learn about Matty there.
Oh, I
think
love
would be-
that.
Yeah, I think that
Be a
would be
pleasure.
much. Yeah, this is like a date call, man. So I'm inviting you to our weekly alpha masterminds, and we're gonna talk about it in a private chat. So we would really like to
Sure.
host you and to learn from you a little bit.
Awesome. Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
Maddie would be great at that, and he said sure. I'm sure he would love to do it. And I just want to, I want to say multiple comments in chat about this is amazing. You've won us over. Like, people are genuinely excited about your tool with the icing on the cake of it being free. So you all are doing amazing things, and it's just refreshing to hear people doing and building businesses for the right reason and not trying to make a shit ton of money and screw people over, because there's a lot of that in this space too.
We're gonna get a ton of money, but we're not gonna screw you over.
Right. You will. You're building something special. And then same goes for you, Jai. Same twofold question. One, any questions for us? And then two, you're an AMA genius. How do you think it went compared to other AMAs in your time on our show, man?
I appreciate that you used the word genius because I do put that in my journal as well. I got to study with Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he calls us geniuses. And when you go to the events, you refer to each other as geniuses, and you wear that hat and you welcome that. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man.
3 questions. The
His
first
books
is,
are amazing, by the way. Just want to say
oh
that.
yeah,
Incredible.
Speaking of somebody who
And-
broke his back in a bike accident, I'm sure that was helpful for you.
exactly. Yeah. And so I could spend 3 hours talking about Joe Dispenza. But what I wanted to know about you two is ABC. A, how'd you meet? B, what was the catalyst that brought you to this kind of a partnership? What was that defining moment in your relationship? And 3, what even is salami?
Ooh.
Dude,
Okay.
great questions. I love it.
I'm gonna go and make you a sandwich, boy, after we're done with this.
We're gonna eat some. I'm gonna go on Amazon and buy salami from Siberia, and hopefully it gets here eventually. Okay, Maddie, do you want to answer that? Do you want me to answer it? Let me
Sure.
answer
So
it.
we
Or you can go.
you get
No, you go.
so we met at the 4th grade bus stop. So we both grew up in the same neighborhood, and we've known each other for over 30 years. So went to school together. We went to college together. Mike studied graphic design, and I studied aerospace engineering. We've been friends the whole time. Mike ended up moving to the West Coast, doing his thing there. And what reconnected us in terms of bringing the stream together was actually COVID happened. I had recently sold my previous business and was looking at what to do next. We were just playing video games, having a good time, just talking about life, what we were excited about, how we were doing. We started talking about how a bunch of these young, 14, 15, 16-year-olds are on Twitch playing video games, making more money than we make. And we said we should start a Twitch channel. And so we just started playing video games out of fun. And Mikey started going down the NFT rabbit hole. We've told, in terms of how he got started. But long story short, he pulled me into that when we started seeing some of the money and the potential. And then the stream really got hijacked by more people coming in talking about NFTs than video games. And so we made a pivot and said, let's talk about this. And we wanted to do it in a way that was unique to us, and that was big because we just love talking, meeting people, figuring out what makes them operate, what they're excited about, because we just think that each human being has greatness and just really special qualities about them, and we love to see how that all comes together and how projects can come and go in this space and make great things happen. And so that's kind of where Midlife Crisis started. In terms of what salami is, apparently salami is a cured sausage consisting of fermented and air-dried meat, typically pork. I'm going to let you take it from there. But you know what I think it is? I think it's just a bunch of leftover. We get done with the prime cuts. We take everything else. We throw it through the meat grinder. We roll it up, and we call it salami and convince people that it's good.
Is that why NFTs are so ugly?
Exactly.
What?
What did you say?
That sounds like the process that gets us some of these McGoblin burgers.
Oh, he say, why is that
no,
NFT
that's exactly
so ugly?
it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No.
And I would add to Matt pretty much covered it, but I would say we actually are named Midlife Crisis for a reason. We both kind of had our midlife crises was another reason because it was one of those things where we were best friends growing up. Life happens. I moved to the West Coast. We always kept in touch. We always talked every year throughout the times. And whenever I would go home, we'd make an effort to see each other. But COVID happened, life happened. And COVID and Matt selling his business and me being able to work from home really let us connect. We started playing video games and Matt and I, ever since we were little, have always had this dream of creating a business with your best friend, right? Like what cooler thing in the world would be to create a successful business with your best friend? That being said, we all know it's very difficult to build a business with your friend, but Maddie and I complement each other very well. If you can tell, Matt is definitely the more analytical brain between the two. I am the color commentary, more jovial guy. My whole background is creative. Matt's whole background is engineering and sales. So we complement each other really well. And then our 30 plus year friendship allows us to ask one question on a close to 3-hour stream and be able to riff off each other. I always know Maddie's going to back me up. And I think Maddie and I, like literally half the time, he asks a question and I'm like, that's literally the exact question I'm going to ask. So he's the yin to my yang, man. And that we knew that just being genuine, be kind, and paying it forward was going to help us build an empire, and that's where we're at. And I'm kind of with Maddie on the salami sitch. I'll take it as just a little step further and say salami is the equivalent of a hot dog, just at a higher price point because they said they've aged it, whatever that means.
Correct. And that was Mike's official answer, being on a Twitch stream. But let's just be real honest. Mike was going to go to Urban Dictionary, and I'm just going to tell everybody in chat,
No.
you do not want to look up Urban Dictionary and then search the word salami.
it's gonna give
so
you some wild
It's a
results.
little bit dicey when you go to Urban Dictionary and look that one up. So we went with the PG
Right.
definition.
So, Maddie, I'll let you give your closing comments to these two amazing humans, and then I'll do mine, and we'll call it a wrap.
Love it. Okay. Yeah, man. So loved having both of you guys on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time. Mary, especially, just the fact that you just had this conversation from 3 a.m. till 6 a.m. is pretty amazing. I do hope that it's an amazing sunrise by the river there for you. This is fantastic because, again, as Mike said, tools are, as an NFT space, there are going to be resources that we need to help people moving in and getting involved with NFTs. We've all heard the scams, the tricks, the things that go on, and ultimately, most people in this space are getting their information simply from someone that they, and I'm just going to put in quotes, trust, right? From an alpha group, or whether it be a person that they met from a previous project, and they kind of gravitate towards these people, but no one's looking at the data. And there are very few people that are utilizing them because the average person in this space is messing around with like 1.2 ETH, if that. So they can't afford a 3 ETH tool to give them all this data. So to provide this for free and give people a way to really take a look and make an educated choice on what they're doing, how they're moving forward, how to buy and sell and trade NFTs in an effective way is a massive, massive gain and bonus to this space. And I just think that it's important that people recognize that. I think that this moves the needle in terms of what we're all trying to do. And Jai, to your point, you do it this way first, and then there's money to be made, but first, let's invest in people. And I think that that's what you guys are doing. I think that's the right order to do it. I think it's going to build trust and then build a fantastic community for you guys. And I think there's going to be a lot of success there. So thank you so much. Thanks for guiding us through it. And I can tell you right now, Mike and I are going to be making a lot of videos for YouTube content using this tool to help explain this NFT space, because it is very simple and it's intuitive to use.
Yep. And I will.
Appreciate that, champions.
Sorry, say that, Jai. Say that again, Jai.
Said we appreciate you, champions.
Thanks,
Geniuses.
man. Thank you so much. And I will follow it off, and I'll take actually a little bit of a different angle. And yes, your tool is amazing. It's free. I know one thing that we provide that is different, is in the same vein as what you're doing is. We've literally had projects on the show, and in real time, our community's going to buy the NFTs because we've given the founders, project owners, a platform to tell people what they're about and learn a lot more. And I know for a fact there's going to be a lot of new people using your tool from our community. So I appreciate that. But the angle that I'm going to go in is I really appreciate both of you sharing your background stories and opening up, and because that's not easy to do, especially to two random dudes on the internet that you have talked to for 15 minutes before we go live on a show. And it's just so special that we're able to do this around a subject that we love. And I think it goes to show how powerful community and connections are in this digital space. And it's cool that all of us have so many different journeys. But to get to this screen, streaming live, talking about Web3, that is just so magical to me. And I just want to thank you both from the bottom of our heart for being vulnerable, telling your story, and sharing this time with us. I genuinely appreciate it.
Thank you.
We really appreciate of you guys hosting us, and I really had an amazing time.
Oh,
Really,
thank you.
really, really amazing time with you guys. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, and we'll talk offline, but definitely will hope that we can collaborate way more in the future. But with that being said, people, we are coming to a conclusion, and we have a more amazing guest coming next week, but we also might be missing out on our Sunday chill stream because Mikey G's cousin and family are coming into town. So we are going to have to figure out what we do there.
We'll announce it.
We'll announce, we'll let you know what's going on. But for next week, just in case we end up defaulting on the Sunday stream next week, we will be talking to Chunks again. Our boy Daniel is coming back on because they are minting soon. So we're going to get the update on how amazing his project has been doing, see where that Minecraft server, how it's looking, the augmented reality that they're adding. It's going to be a fun conversation. And he already said he's incredibly chuffed. And then after that, we have Indelible, amazing dude, Mike, serial entrepreneur, doing an awesome tattoo NFT. And it's not just because he thinks that tattoos are cool. He literally holds the world record for the most insects tattooed on his body. So that's what you can expect next week. We love you all. We might be back Sunday, if not Tuesday.